Well, Friday night at the Wyotheater, you don't want to miss it. It's the Patti Fiasco along with local favorites, the Two Tracks. The show starts at 7 o'clock. Head to Wyotheater.com to get your tickets before they're gone. The Two Tracks have been playing shows all summer around the country. Their latest album, It's a Complicated Life, is out now. We're stoked to have cellist, guitarist, vocalist for the Two Tracks, Mr. Dave Huebner, back on the show. First, Dave, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff.
Well, wow, you guys have been busy. You just had a Colorado run. How did it go?
Oh, Colorado was awesome. Yeah, it was really fun. We went through Winter Park and Lyons and Fort Collins, and just had some really fun shows. And we've been busy. Been playing every weekend through the month of July.
Yeah, you guys have been at this a while now. How are we feeling when we head back to different places for multiple times? Do we see more action? Do we see more crowds?
Yeah, there is some growth, and there feels like there is some momentum in the last, especially in the last year or two. So it's kind of exciting.
I mean, besides Colorado, when you guys head out other states, what's the response for a Wyoming band? People dig it that you're from Wyoming?
Yeah, I think they're kind of curious, like what sort of sound we're going to be bringing, and they, overwhelmingly, of course, people think the cello's unique, for sure, but then they dig the vibe, and one of the fun things about touring is just meeting people all around the country, and now we've been doing it for long enough that we've got friends kind of in all of those places, and so you get to go and see your old friends in that particular state or that particular town. So it's kind of the fun part about it.
Well, and I love it, Dave. Dave wears his cello like no one I've ever seen. I mean, he straps the thing over your shoulder, like through your leg. So you literally can sit there and walk while you're playing the cello.
Yeah, it's kind of my own creation, a little bit.
Yeah, because how did you come up with this?
Well, I was playing sitting down and trying to play around campfires and stuff, and back in the day, and I was like, this kind of sucks having to have a chair with me always, and so then I started putting the end pin all the way out, and that worked for a little while, but it was a little sketchy having that much leverage on the end of the cello, and I just thought, I saw one other cellist that had kind of side swung it. It was a little different. I mean, he had a strap, but it was almost like diagonal across his body, just over his shoulder. I was like, well, there's an idea. I don't know if I want to do that, but let me go buy a guitar strap and put it on this thing and see what works. And just stepping through it and kind of holding it with your leg keeps it upright and keeps it tight to your body, and it allows you to move around. And all of a sudden I could lean into a single mic for bluegrass stuff, or I could move around the stage, for more rock and roll stuff and all that kind of thing. So it was a nice discovery.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I know people get a kick out of it. So it's a guitar strap. That's how.
Yeah.
How it works.
Super, just a cheap guitar strap.
Wow. Unreal. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, every year it seems to get bigger. You're doing what you want to do, which is nice. I mean, you guys are playing shows where you want to play.
Yeah, we're trying to, focus on the good ones, quality, not quantity, but this year's been a nice mix of both, We've been especially busy the last, 6 weeks or so, and we've got some good stuff on the horizon that we just, we're about to put up some September dates, and it's nice to see it kind of rolling along.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So the tour's not ending with the show Friday night, so that's good. More dates coming. Go and check them out. The Two Tracks, they're at the2tracks.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. They're everywhere. Their latest album, It's a Complicated Life, is out now, and see them tomorrow night opening for the Patti Fiasco at the Wyotheater. I mean, how's the band? It just seems like you guys keep getting tighter every year.
Yeah, we enjoy each other. We have fun on the road, and I think we are. We've just continued to gel more, and we know the songs more. This year, one kind of fun show we had was we got to spend 3 days in a row in this small historic town in Nebraska and play 3 shows in the same place, not having to take our stuff down and set up or anything. And so we basically played through, all 4 of our albums over the course of three shows. And, being able to do stuff like that and dig back through the catalog and just be able to pull songs from, that whole span has been really fun this summer. And, we feel lucky too. It's not easy to find, people that you get along with after 12 hours in the van and, all that kind of stuff. And so we do feel lucky that we have found each other.
Yeah, well, you segued perfectly. I was going to talk about that. You played 3 shows in Brownville, Nebraska, which I've never even heard of the place. But, you guys are, it looks like you're fish on these 3 days. Yeah, you played 3 different nights. You didn't repeat a song. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were like, okay, what can we, we're going to play, all of our covers. We're going to play all of our originals. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I respect that. That's really cool to be able to pull that off. The Patti Fiasco. Tell us about these guys. How do you know them? How did this happen?
Well, we've known Alicia Kraft off and on for years now, and the Patti Fiasco used to tour more. So there's probably some people that are familiar with them from back in the day when they were, road dogging it a little bit more around the state of Wyoming. But she's originally from Encampment, Wyoming. They all live in, Fort Collins, Front Range area of Colorado. And, they're just an incredible, fun, high energy, Americana rock, folk rock kind of, experience. And, we did a show with them when she had a group also called Whippoorwill. It was a duo, and we played with them, at a show down in Fort Collins area. And they reached out and said, hey, we want to come back to Sheridan itself. What do you think we could do? And we're like, well, let's rent out the Wyotheater and hopefully we can get people to show up. And, they're awesome. So I really hope people, check them out if they haven't heard of them and, put on some of their videos and music and then, come to the Wyo tomorrow. 'Cause it's definitely going to be an experience.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. Go to Wyotheater.com. Get your tickets now. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and get there early because the 2 tracks are opening the show. And I looked, and the middle section is gone pretty much. So go and get your tickets now. It's going to be a great show. But, so they're down in Fort Collins. I was wondering, it seemed familiar, like I'd heard of her before, but I couldn't put it together. So that Whippoorwill, I've heard of them, so...
Yeah,
maybe that's where it was.
And a few years ago, they won a competition. They got to open for Bon Jovi at the Pepsi Center.
Oh wow!
There's some videos from that show out there that people should check out.
That's cool. Yeah, so
go
and search for them. Is this going to be the Wyo show? Because you guys always play like one Wyo show a year.
Yeah, this is going to be the Wyo show for the next while. We haven't announced it yet, but there is another one on the books for February.
Okay.
So can't tell you about that yet,
Yeah.
I have to wait.
Not till 2025, so you got to go see them tomorrow night so you can catch them again at the Wyo. You guys love playing the Wyotheater. Your last Wyo show was just amazing. You got a standing O at the end of the night.
Yeah, we love the Wyo. It's just, it's always been great crowds there, and we love just the vibe of the historic theater, and, we're just so lucky to have a place like the Wyotheater in Sheridan. There's a lot of small towns that don't have a theater like that, don't have a support network like that for local artists, and so it's great to have that opportunity.
Yeah, Wyotheater tomorrow night. It's going to be awesome, but you guys are also, this is cool, you're playing the Bear Trap Summer Festival right after.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, sometimes when you're not booked for a particular weekend, because we were just going to be home, the artist canceled on Sunday from, I think, a family emergency or something, and so we got a random phone call a few days ago, and they said, hey, we need an artist for Sunday, and your name came up, are you available? And it's like, oh, yeah, actually we are.
Yeah, how much you paying? If you need a band that much, we'll
Right,
be there. But
yeah.
this is the first time you played that.
It's the first time in a while, but we did play it. We've played it twice before, but it was back in, I think, 2016 and maybe 2017 or something.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it's been a while, and that's a cool thing because that's on Casper Mountain.
It normally is. This year the road's closed up, or not closed up Casper Mountain, but they're doing construction, and so they're going to hold the fest downtown or down in town at Washington Park.
Oh, okay. So it's at Washington Park, the Bear Trap Summer Festival this year. Go and check them out because the two tracks will be there on Sunday. It's a Complicated Life, your latest album. Boy, this has to be your guys' most personal album.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're the most proud of it, and I do think, it tells, our story just that much more than probably any of the other ones.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been listening to it. The vinyl sounds amazing. I mean, whatever you guys did, and it's a clear vinyl. If you want to go get one, there'll probably be some tomorrow night at the Wyo. But it's just. I mean, Julie talks about her divorce. They talk about you guys. I mean, it's the kids, everything. I mean, your guys' heart is on your sleeve on this thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a storytelling album for sure. There's a song about my mom passing away.
Yeah.
Song about Baja and the Canyon Wren and, things like that. And, I don't know. It's just, we also, like, as musicians, we felt like, as we were recording it and then as we were listening to the rough mixes on our way home after the week of recording, we were like, wow, okay, this is our best work yet. So.
Yeah, go and check it out. It's a Complicated Life. You can go to the2tracks.com. And grab yourself a copy of it. Go and follow them. They're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Go check out their videos and see them tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the Wyotheater, opening for the Patti Fiasco. I was in Hawaii this summer, and I kayaked for the first time. You love kayaking. Do you guys, I mean, you must own your own kayaks.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Walmart, specials. Yeah, we love floating the local creeks. You can float through town earlier in the summer when the water's up, and you can float on the Tongue River. The Sheridan County Land Trust has actually done an awesome job kind of laying out the Tongue River water trail system and network, and so we kind of checked that out and started getting into it, and it's a really fun thing to be able to do. I mean, it's the higher water doesn't last for very long. So it's kind of a short season of floating around here, but it is something you can do.
Yeah, and kayaking is a blast. I enjoyed it. That's for sure. How's your homebrew going? What are we brewing right now?
Well, I've got a Belgian double that I'm about to put in a keg. So that's my 33rd batch of homebrew.
Holy cow!
If anybody was at the Untapped Homebrew Fest this year, I was there serving up a grapefruit goza and IPA, Belgian IPA. And I believe I got an honorable mention from the Brewer's Choice for the IPA. So that was cool.
Man, because you haven't been doing this that long to have 33 batches.
Yeah, this is my second year, basically, second full year. Yeah, I'm into it. I like beer.
Man, he's pumping them out. What's a Belgium double?
Well, it's just, I don't know all that much about the style. I just know that I've had it before, and I enjoy that kind of beer. And so I was shopping some of the Northern Brewer homebrew kits, and that one popped up, and I thought I'd give it a try, and that's kind of been my process. You do some of these recipe kits, and then you once you get the hang of a certain style or you find one that you like, well, then you can come back to it and just start ordering the ingredients and kind of make it your own after that. So that's kind of where I've gotten with like IPAs and pale ales. I can kind of just order the ingredients I want and make my own. But some of these other styles, I'm still just, buying the all grain kit and kind of experimenting.
Yeah. Wow. Putting your own little twist on it. That's cool. Well, and I mean,
Yeah.
you obviously you like beer. Blacktooth Brewery is your guys' sponsor. What are we drinking from Blacktooth right now?
Oh, let's see. They have, well, you know, it was kind of funny how they came out with the California Transplant IPA this summer. You know, I could relate to that. And so I was like, okay, thanks. That was a beer for me this summer.
Yeah.
Love the Guideboat Goza in the summertime for sure. That's always a really good one. And, you know, the IPA, the Hot Streak for sure. But Copper Mule goes with us everywhere. You know, it's the adventures of the Copper Mule when the two tracks go on tour.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I mean, you mentioned sitting in the van for hours. Who drives the most out of the band?
Oh, you know, lately we've been doing a pretty good job of splitting it up. You know, I generally I will often kind of be the first driver of a trip. So like I'll either, you know, drive the first shift if it's a long drive, or maybe I'll drive all the way to the first gig. And then, you know, lately Julie or Fred then picks up the wheel after a few hours, or the next day, whichever comes first. And, you know, we just kind of rotate through the band. And then Taylor's often the closer. He's kind of our solid, like, I'll get us home at the end of a trip, you know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But, yeah, it's good to have four drivers. You know?
Instead of one or two of you doing it all the time. Friday night, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Go check them out. They're opening for the Patti Fiasco. Go to Wyotheater.com and get your tickets now before they are gone. That's for sure. So what's coming? I mean, you mentioned you got some more dates. Do we have any single releases? What's coming up next?
We've got an Upper Midwest tour for, well, Julie and I are doing a little duo run out to the Upper Midwest later in August, and then the full band is going to go back through the Upper Midwest in middle of September, and working on some dates in October and November. We might go back down to Colorado and play with the Patti Fiasco in early November down in the Fort Collins area, so that would be fun. We don't have any upcoming singles or anything like that right now, but we're definitely looking forward to starting to work on album number 5 and hopefully be able to schedule some time to record it in 2025. So,
yeah, because do we write any music when we're out on the road or not?
You know, I'm always writing, you know, little bits and pieces, sometimes the whole song. We've done some practices on some new music, for sure. And, we finished up, a couple songs for some Kickstarter backers from the last album. You might remember there was a package on there where we would write you a song for a certain amount, you know?
Yeah.
And, so we finished up a couple of those and we really like them. So odds are they're going to be on the next record too. So that was definitely a fun project.
That's always crazy when people do that for a Kickstarter campaign. I mean, I don't know. Is it a lot of pressure or more pressure to write a song with somebody do they give you an idea? How does it work?
Yeah, we got this time around. I mean, most of the stuff that we've done with it, yeah, people will give us a wonderful idea and wonderful details, and maybe it's a personal story, or maybe it's about their parent or their child or something, and so we've had a great experience with it because I love songwriting, and if especially if I can have some interesting details or a good story to work with, and that was definitely the case with these. It was just a couple of wonderful stories that are very heartfelt, and often the idea is the hardest part of songwriting, is finding that idea or having it come to you, and so to have somebody give you that idea and really flesh out, here, this is what it's about, and that was just a real treat, and so it did take a while, and sometimes you don't want to rush it because you don't want to just spit out something that's not fully filled out, and so it definitely took us a while to get them finished, but where we finally ended up, we were really proud of the proud of the songs. And so I do think that they're going to start making it into our live shows here pretty soon.
You know, that's sweet. And that'd be cool for the people that you wrote them for. You're like, hey, there's my song.
Yeah, totally.
They're playing it live. Well, you did Shiny Penny for the Tiny Desk Contest entry this year. Tell us about the song, Dave.
Oh, Shiny Penny, yeah, that's one of Julie's tunes. You know, I think you can tell she kind of wrote it about me, I guess. But, you know, she sort of butters it up a little bit, you know, makes me sound better than I probably am. But, no, it's a fun bluegrass tune, and that was that's always a fun thing, the Tiny Desk Contest. There's so many great videos out there from that every year, and I do love that we can, as a band, we can play full volume, you know, and loud and electric and all that, but we can also dial it back, and we can play acoustic around a couple of microphones, as we did with that video. And so that's kind of a fun twist, you know.
Yeah, go to YouTube. You can check it out. Go type in the 2 tracks. It comes up, the Shiny Penny video. And see them tomorrow night. Go to Wyotheater.com. Adults $24.50. Senior military $14. Students are 12, and 12 and under are $8.50. Go and get them now because they're selling fast. And go and check them out tomorrow night. Get there early because the 2 tracks will be opening the show at 7 o'clock. Well, Dave, thanks so much for coming back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff.
Here's Shiny Penny. It's the 2 tracks. It's KIX 96.5.